Probably still don't. But I knew that I wanted to make a difference in the community. So I sought out people who did that. People like Aung San Suu Kyi, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Winston Churchill. I read their stories and looked into the context of what made them say yes, while everyone else in the world told them no. And although it was very rational to compare my life to theirs, I knew that they were living in the moment and they actually had the courage to take action and make a difference. And that inspired me. Those stories and many others, they gave me hope. That's the power of a story. Excuse me. And honestly, with those stories, it's helped build up my values into what they are today. And quite frankly, the things I always know to be true is that good always prevails in the end. If you have an opportunity to make a difference, take it. You'll never regret it. And perseverance in any field is the toughest test. I'm a Cubs fan, so I know this. Go Cubs, go. And so, with these values, they help give me confidence and assurance in not only the people I surround myself with, but the organizations that I'm a part of, and the way I live life. So I want to challenge you to reflect on your story, seek out other stories, and then take action. Initiate opportunities to express yourself and do what matters to you. All I want you to know is that your story matters, and because it's yours. No one else can take that from you, and it's your responsibility to express it on your terms, with your expression, and no one else's. And by sharing your story, know that you allow others to want to share theirs, and you give them that hope that was instilled in you. Thank you.
Tonight, we want to talk a little bit about the honors program franchise from the freshman perspective, and how we started to find our own groups here at UI. As I'm sure many of you remember, when you're in your first week or your first semester here, the BIF can be a pretty intimidating place. You walk in and you see these tables filled with friends from the same business organizations, the same groups, but you're not really in any of those groups yet.
Yeah, like Eric said, none of us were really in a group when we came on campus first off. The Business Honors was our core group. It was really a place where we got to meet our first friends, got to get acquainted with people that we were very similar to, people that thought just like us, and it really was our first core group of friends. Eric and I are one of the perfect examples of some unlikely friends in Business Honors. She knows it too, she knows it too. But I'll help you visualize that. For any of you that watch Parks and Rec, Eric she is a Leslie. As she says, she loves government, waffles, and her friends. Or maybe her friends, waffles, and government. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But she loves all of them.
And you talked to my Leslie know this. Try to picture Kyle as like Ron Swanson. Just like Ron, Kyle would love to live in a cabin in the woods, so far off the grid that the electric company doesn't even know it exists. Just last week, Kyle said that he doesn't like taking the main staircase in dip because that's too much visibility for him. In contrast, I love taking the main staircase because when you're on there, you get to see everything going on in the atrium. But just like Leslie and Ron, Kyle and I have gone from strangers to friends, workplace proximity associates to actual associates, and just like many people in the Business Honors program. On campus, we're involved in various different things. Kyle's in PCT, Enactus, and the Alumni Navigators, and in his vague words, various political organizations.
Eric is in Business Council. I gotta get this list right. Business Council, Student Senate, Act Green, Global Business Brigades, and an email list of about 80 different clubs that she doesn't have time to go to. That just fill her inbox with emails.
But right out of the gate first semester, we didn't really have many of those groups we just mentioned, and we didn't really have the chance to become nearly as involved as we are now. But luckily, during one of our first weeks on campus, we discovered that we both like to play cards. So around once a month, Kyle, Hackett, Daggett, myself, and various others would get together for just a simple evening of card playing. And during the card playing, we discovered that we had other interests in common, like politics. We don't always see eye to eye on a lot of things, but we still enjoy debating them.
Enjoy is a strong
interaction we get used to life on campus is great. From our mentors to social events to our weekly class, Business Honors already feels like a family.
And honestly, it's a family that can study together and hang out together and spend time together, travel together. Even a family that I can always count on to really a tight family of workplace proximity associates.
Business Honors has already shaped my college experience in one of the most amazing ways imaginable. And even if Kyle won't admit it without a semi-sarcastic tone, I know it's shaped his as well. Even though we've vastly expanded our respective friend groups since that first time we played cards, Business Honors will always be our first group, and that will always mean something very special. I'd like to end with a quote from Leslie Note that I think applies to all of us in college of business, and especially in the honors program. We get to do work worth doing alongside people we love.
Can't sum it up any better. Thank you very much.
Before Mike was in high school and I had to sing and dance in musicals, and you have no idea how grateful I am to be here tonight and not have to do either of those things. And you should be grateful too. I'm here tonight to talk about getting to college and then going on to the campus. And when I was preparing for this speech, I was thinking about what I got to do last Monday and Tuesday, which is to go out to Washington, D.C. and represent the University of Illinois at an Association of Big Ten Students Conference. And what really was great about that trip is I came back with an idea that could actually be implemented through the Business Honors Program, something about financial literacy. But then two things got me to scratch that whole thing. Number one, thinking about Washington, D.C., and thinking about who we are as a Business Honors Program. What's the model of the Business Honors Program? Leadership through service. And going out there on Capitol Hill and spending time in 6 different congressional offices, to be honest with you, didn't see much of either of those. Second thing that got me to change my speech is something that I woke up to today that challenged my beliefs and challenged the way I approach my leadership here on campus. And that was waking up to a Facebook post called, I always forget the acronym, Justifying Eradication of Willful Ignorance. I don't know if any of you saw the Facebook post. But if you haven't, look it up right now, pull up the group, and then you don't have to listen to me anymore. But what it is it's really scary, in my opinion, anti-Semitic thoughts that not only targeted a certain group of community on campus, but targeted individual students on campus. So today I met with the rabbi, the Chabad rabbi, and think about what are we going to do to provide a safe environment for all students on campus. And we had a great discussion, and we put forth an action plan. And next Monday, we, along with other leaders, will be meeting with the chancellor and doing more things to make sure that this is an inclusive environment for all of them. When I was walking back to my dorm, I had a very different thought. This was not the first time that those sorts of beliefs or that inclusivity has been challenged on campus. And it wasn't the first time that it was this year. We had the White Student Union back in the fall. What did I do? I said it was bad, but not much. Then a week ago, we had chalkings on the wall, telling immigrant students and foreign students to go back home. What did I do? I said it was bad, but I didn't do much. I waited until something impacted my group, the group that I belong to, in order to act. And sure, I definitely have a different level of ownership about Jewish students on campus than I do about African American students on campus, or immigrant groups on campus. My thesis is, I was not proactive. I didn't get out in front. I didn't wait for other students. So why am I up here confessing all this to you? It's the message that we are the leaders on campus. We are the leaders of our college, and we can do a lot. And it's easiest to act about what we care about the most. It's easiest to act about our organizations. It's easiest to act about the groups that we belong to, what we care about the most. What's much harder to do is make friends from different parts of the campus community and help them out in their time of need. As we move forward as the University of Illinois, as we move into a time where our very existence is challenged by financial difficulties from Springfield and across the country, we need to look at who we are. We're the College of Business. We're the most insulated college and the most university in the state. We're going to be fine. But what about our peers across the campus? One of the things that I've tried to do this year is work with the rest of the leaders on campus through Student Senate. Go over to Springfield, which I had the opportunity to do with Kyle, with Emily, and try to get funding on our behalf. So the message that I want to leave you with tonight is we're doing great things for our college. We're doing great things for the honors program. Let's take it to the next step. We've been here, this is our 11th year now as a business honors program. And while we always have work to do internally, let's challenge ourselves to help the people who don't have the resources that we have. And let's find a way to make impacts in ways that aren't obvious. And find ways to get out in front and make new connections across campus. That's how we can show our leadership through service.
All right, well, that was an amazing speech. I was trying to follow that. Just want to wish everyone a happy Friday, happy Tax Day. I'm Jake. I rushed here in the fall of last year. I'm a sophomore. I study entrepreneurship and ISIT, and I've had a bit of a unique experience so far. This past fall, I started my own business. It's called Covered. And it's a mobile app that lets users pay for cover on their phone and eliminates the need for cash, as well as giving them discounts, and then also allows the bars to connect with their customers more efficiently. And through this process, I think I'm very early on in the process. I'm still learning a lot, but I've gained some invaluable insights as to the real business world and entrepreneurship as a whole. And one of those insights that I wanted to share with you guys today is called growth mindset. And growth mindset is all about having, so if you look at failure, and if you look at it one way, it's the end of the world. If you look at failure another way, you've never been closer to success. And growth mindset is all about embracing challenges and failure and obstacles that you're undoubtedly going to come across along the way, and sort of to look at those obstacles as positives and as a way to grow in the future. I'll give a quick, concrete example of something with Covered that I needed to use growth mindset to overcome. Last month we did a promo where everybody would get a free cover at CAMS on a specific night, and we sent everybody an email and said that exactly outlined the steps as to how you would collect that free cover and go about using it. And I went to CAMS that night and I sat behind the guy doing the scanning, and I just observed, and I knew it wasn't going to work flawlessly, but I wanted to see what worked and what didn't. And nothing worked. It went really horribly. Users didn't know how to use their cover. They didn't know that the cover existed. They didn't know how to scan it once they did know it existed. And so we kind of took a step back and we said, okay, obviously the idea of giving free cover is going to be bought in by students, like they love free cover and free anything. So how do we go about doing that in a better way so that it's better next time? And then we thought of the idea of promo codes, which will be released this Tuesday. And basically, promo codes now allow us to track how well we're doing with these promotions and sales. It allows the bars to connect better with the students, and allows the students to have a free way to get familiar with our technology in the app. And basically, it's a win-win-win for everybody involved. But we needed to fail first and really understand what we did wrong before we could get that right. And so I just wanted to leave everyone with the idea that failure really isn't the end of the road if you have the right mindset, and it is indeed closer than you've ever been to the finish line. Thanks.
Hi everybody, my name is Donald Bauer, and I graduated from the College of Business Honors Program in 2014. And from July 2014 to July 2015, I did the Fulbright program in Daegu, South Korea. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my experience with the Fulbright program and explain to you what it is. So the Fulbright program offers more than 1,900 different grants to U.S. citizens, usually recent graduates or graduate students, to over 140 different countries around the world. And those grants are in areas of teaching or studying or research. And so for me in particular, I did an English teaching assistantship grant in South Korea, and I worked at a high school teaching conversational English, and I lived in a homestay, and I volunteered for a nonprofit that helped North Korean defectors transition to life in South Korea. But every Fulbright grant looks a little bit different depending on the host country and what the topic of the grant is about. So for me, I completed the grant this past July, and since then I've moved from Chicago to San Francisco. and I actually work for the same firm, Protivity, that I interned for in the summer of 2013, which was my summer going to my senior year. And I was very fortunate because Protivity was willing to wait a year and have me start full-time when I came back from Korea. And I found out that a lot of other professional services firms are willing to make exceptions and wait for you if you do some of these special grants like the Fulbright program or even other programs like Teach for America. So my advice to you is to think about looking into some of these other opportunities like the Fulbright program, Teach for America, Code for America, and some other competitive grants, and to consider participating in these after college and working with your firm that you might be looking to start full-time with to see if they have any programs where they might let you delay your offer a year or two before you start full-time. I think that there is a lot of good that comes out of pausing for a year and really taking time to learn about a new culture or a new area of the country. Thank you, everybody. Oh, by the way, if any of you would like any help applying for the Fulbright program or have any questions about the Fulbright program, I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. Feel free to reach out to me. And also, if any of you have any questions about life after college, moving away from home, like moving to California, for example, I'm also here to answer any questions or be of any assistance that I can. Thank you.
So, I want to thank the seniors and the honors program for having me here tonight. And I want to say that every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily that order. Jean-Luc Godard said it beautifully, and I think that this can emulate to everything in life. We as people have stories. Organizations have stories. Even this college has a story. I've been a part of Lean In for 2 years now, and I've had such a privilege of watching it develop its own story. And I think that one of the key parts of an interesting and successful story is exploration. Hamish Lacker, one of our own business honors members, helped create Lean In 4 semesters ago and asked me to be on the founding team. Our first project was to find a niche here for Lean In on campus. And that was very difficult because Lean In has a pretty vague motive and doesn't necessarily address a specific group of students here on campus. And so we thought to ourselves, we're a group of business students. We have the knowledge to go ahead and provide our insight in regards to professional development to others. Let's go ahead and make Lean In a professional development organization. This was in our first semester, and we quickly realized that the college is already saturated with the number of organizations that provide professional development, as well as an entire team of individuals fully staffed and hired in order to do the same for our students. So we realized through this concept of exploration and figuring out what Lean In can provide to students that this was not the right path. So in doing so, we also realized that we could go ahead and provide a community of support and encouragement to our members. But that took time. That took us going after different avenues and different marketing plans in order to actually figure out what we could provide to people here. And I think that the journey that an organization goes through can also be reflected onto the journey that an individual goes through. Some of you are freshmen year. You're now closing off your freshman year, and you're still finding that niche that you have on campus. As Erica and Kyle said, you're finding your groups. But that's a timing process, and it shouldn't be hastened, and it should be taken very seriously because I think if it's done right, you can go back as a year with the college and with your peers. But after finding our niche here on campus, we then had to go after its biggest problem and attract members and retain them. And this is something that we struggled with for a long time because it's hard to encourage people to talk about their feelings to strangers. I don't think that many of us would want to go ahead and do that. And so we had to go ahead and create a system based on a process of trial and error experimentation. Who let the camera girl on stage talk about experimentation? You might as well have a laptop and goggles and mix up random liquids on stage. But experimentation holds value in chemistry as much as it does in valuing ourselves and also developing you as a person. If you don't experiment with what you like and what you don't like, how are you going to build yourself into who you truly are? And I think an honor cell can reflect in the same way. After we went ahead and figured out a way that we could retain our members, we finally had to go through semester after semester, assessing and analyzing what we are continually doing as an organization. And this is creating goals. This is creating check marks and tasks for the organization to go ahead and accomplish or to keep growing and becoming better each and every semester. But individuals need to do this too. Beth Pickens came here a couple weeks ago, and she's the managing director of William Blair Investment Bank. And she talked about how it's really important for an individual and professional to create goals. She recommended doing so in a book. And she said that if you list out these goals every 6 months, a year, 3 years, and envision your future, and regularly check this book, you can see not only all of the things that you've accomplished, but also how your goals have changed, how you've developed as a person. I know personally I need to do this because the only time I reflect on the things I've done is when I need to update my resume or LinkedIn. But I really think that if you take this idea and concept of constantly developing yourself and exploring all of the things that this college, our peers, and this community has to offer, then you're just going to make yourself an absolutely well-rounded individual. Now, if you don't take advantage of this, then we'll just be as boring as Hallmark cards. We're the Business Honors Program. We're not full of boring Hallmark cards. We're full of bright individuals that have so much more to offer beyond that. And I think that if we go ahead and embark ourselves on this journey full of exploration, then all the things that we do, whether that be our own personal lives, our academic lives, or extracurricular involvement, will flourish just as well as we could have imagined it. And our story will never end.
Hello, Business Honors Conference 2015. Chad Ford coming to you live from the rainy Northwest. Sorry, I always wanted to do that. One of my, not goals, but one of the things I always wanted to do is be a TV personality. So it kind of feels like I'm on TV right now. So I wanted to get my shot in there. Anyways, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Chad Ford. I'm a 14. Currently, I live out in Seattle, and I work at Boeing in a finance rotation program. I'll get into that here a little bit later, though. First of all, I just want to thank Abby for giving me opportunity to be a part of this. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there in person, but just wanted to say thanks to Abby for reaching out to me and letting me kind of share some thoughts on kind of whatever I wanted to. Kind of left it a little open-ended. I think that this conference is a cool thing. I'm not exactly sure when it started, but I think it's a really cool opportunity. One of the things that it does is that it brings classes together, which many times doesn't happen. I know you get anywhere from alumni to freshmen and whatnot, so I think that's a really cool opportunity, and I challenge all of you to take advantage of that. I'm actually flying out later today to see another business honors person, another 14, Donald Bauer, for those of you that know him. So like I said, just take advantage of the connections that you make now and the people that you know, because they're going to come back in life and be maybe some good friends or acquaintances or just good connections to have later in the future. So really, really take advantage of this cool opportunity. That being said, what I want to talk to you a little bit about today is something that I have always learned. I know that Dean Hedeman obviously has always said energy, optimism, enthusiasm. That's the motto that kind of started the Business Honors Program and is built on. And I think that it's cool to kind of have a motto to guide what it is that you do. After I've left college, one of the mottos that I've picked up is that perception is reality. I know that many times I think that saying sort of gets a negative rap, so I want to delve a little bit deeper into it. So what I mean by that is currently right now in my role at Boeing, I do contracts with the United States Air Force. It's more of a legalistic role. I studied accounting and finance, and like I said earlier, wanted to do TV, journalism, or radio or something like that. So believe me, I'm the farthest thing from lawyers, but where I'm going with kind of perception is reality and the importance of having a motto is that first, when I entered it, kind of perceived, understood, and received what I did as challenges, and they were really difficult. And believe me, I was lost and had absolutely no idea what I wanted or what it was that I was doing. But then, kind of what I did is took a little different approach and perceived it positively, and I've seen the benefits of that. So I challenge you to do that as well. So what I'm trying to say there is, don't necessarily be perceived with, or don't necessarily be concerned with, oh, perception is reality, and to be really concerned about, oh, what others think about me. What I'm saying is it's important to perceive your situations themselves positively, because if you can start with yourself, see it as positive, see it as rather a learning thing, then in a sense, people are going to pick up on that. People are going to then be more apt to help you, be more willing to give you advice and offer their expertise, because most likely they're going to know more about it than what it is with you. So don't be concerned about others, but first focus on your perception of the world, your perception of situations, and then that will snowball into results. I know that each and every one of you in that room is very, very talented. So it's important to take this on, look at things positively, and then in a sense, if you're able to do that, people are going to listen to what you have to say, and then in a sense, you'll be able to drive change. Okay, that's what I have to say. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and just wanted to say, hey, Dean Hedeman, nice to see you. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Hi everyone, and thank you for taking the time to hear everyone speak tonight, including myself. So today I'm here to talk to you about the opportunity I've had working for a startup, student-run nonprofit, and some of the lessons I've had through that experience. So to begin, who am I working for? I'm working for Maker Girl. So this was founded in October of 2014, and our mission is to inspire females to be active in science, technology, engineering, and math. We live out this mission by hosting 3D printing sessions for girls from the ages of 7 to 10 here in Bend. We also have had sessions in Chicago and Southern Illinois. So our real mission is to get them excited about STEM at an early age to hopefully encourage them to continue that interest throughout their teen years and hopefully throughout their career. And this summer we're actually launching Maker Girl Goes Mobile, which will be the nation's first mobile 3D printing lab and will allow us to totally scale our impact all across the country. So that's something we're really excited about. So that's Maker Girl, and what have I learned from working with them? My first lesson is to know what bothers you. This is the reason why Maker Girl was founded. Actually, our founders took an entrepreneurship class here at the University of Illinois, and they were posed this question. And the response to this question was that they were bothered by the gender gap they see in C-level positions across so many businesses, and they're also particularly bothered by the gender gap they see in STEM industries. Once you know that, once you know what bothers you, it's really hard to sit still, and they did. So they made Maker Girl, and we've been having an incredible impact here at the University of Illinois, and we're really excited to a solution to try and combat that. My second lesson I've learned is to err on the side of being bold. Maker Girl has inspired me to be bold in so many ways. I have bold expectations for myself, and I have bold expectations for the people I interact with. Initially, our project to take Maker Girl local, I was really hesitant about it. I saw all the issues and conflicts we were going to encounter, and it was originally part of our 3-year plan, and then we decided, let's do it this summer. I have been so amazed by how my team has tackled each challenge piece by piece. There's still some challenges we're working with, and we're uncertain of how we're going to solve them, but I know the diligence of my team. We're going to get it done. So I just would urge you guys as well to have bold expectations of yourself and really set yourself to do more than what you think you're ever capable of. My last lesson is your business grows at the rate you work for it to grow. I've seen this so much in terms of just networking with Maker Girl, especially when you're a startup company. It is so important to just get the word out. Tell everyone you interact with what you're doing,
And you might not see a payoff in the short run, but trust me, in the long run, there's going to be a time where someone knowing about what you're doing helps you. I really think this is so important, and I think when you're working with a startup, the return of your investment for the time and energy you put in to the organization is huge. Every moment you're working towards helping the organization grow is way more impactful than when you're working in an established organization. So really, if you have the opportunity to work for a startup, it's the most rewarding experience I've had because the organization's grown so much since I began. And thanks for letting me talk to you guys.
We're often flurried with a multitude of questions about our future. What are you majoring in? Where are you studying abroad? Where are you going to work after college? How many kids do you plan on having? And what warm place do you think you're going to retire to? And we often find ourselves hyperventilating far before we can even say, "Hi, my name's Jonah, what's your name?" As college students, we are often very anxious about the uncertainty of our future. But I'm here to tell you that it is more than okay to feel like that. Today, I'm going to talk about finding your passion and how to change your mindset so that when you're asked those questions, you no longer have the thoughts of dread, but the idea of a blank slated future is exciting to you and not terrifying. I know this can be a scary process. I have some of the weirdest and most diverse passions of most people I know, but trust me, I've learned to embrace them. Now, college is a world of untapped potential, and there are so many different paths that you can go down to find your passion. The passion that has driven most of my activity choices throughout my life so far is my intense passion for sports. I'm a sports addict. I'm a diehard Cubs fan, and as you can see, I'm lucky enough to have a job at Wrigley Field. I'm one of those seat vendors who walks around the stadium in the pinstripe uniform, screaming at the top of my lungs, "Hey, who needs a bag of these PP nuts?" One day, I would love to work in the front office for the Chicago Cubs. On my very first day at college, I heard about a new organization, the Illinois Sports Business Conference, an organization that is geared on uniting students who are interested in sports business, like myself, with actual sports business professionals. And this upcoming year, I am lucky enough to be serving on the executive board of ISBC as a vice president of speakers. A passion that has followed me from my high school days is my desire to increase the funding for cancer research in the hopes to one day cure cancer. That is why, at Quad Day, I sought out information about U of I's Relay for Life. Another one of my passions that I learned about a month into college is that I have an intense passion for creation. I spent most of my free time learning how to play ukulele through watching this guy on YouTube videos. And now I have the desire to learn how to play piano and guitar. I also learned that I love writing, and that it allows me to express my emotions way more clearly than if I were just to think or talk about them. My best friend from home and I are also in the process of creating an iPhone app called Ruby. Now, Ruby is essentially a roommate searching Tinder for incoming college freshmen. Although all of these passions have played very important roles in my life so far, the most prevalent passion of mine is my passion for people. I love people. The people in my life give me the drive to be a better version of myself every day. People make me happy, and that is the single most important thing about finding your passion. You need to do whatever is going to make you the happiest, no matter if the stigma around them, even if it means stepping out of your comfort zone or it isn't a cool or popular decision. I was on the bowling team in high school, for goodness sake. Now, as we know, bowling is most definitely not especially cool. We are not considered jocks by any means. And I promise you that being a bowler did not get me dates with girls. However, I bowled because I absolutely love to do it. You have to do everything in your power to do the things that you unconditionally love to do. One more thing about passion. Passion can strike at the weirdest times. I wrote most of this speech on my notepad on my phone at 3:37 in the morning. This is proof of that. But whenever passion strikes, you have to roll with it. My last passion is a passion for sharing my message with people, and I appreciate that you've all given me the opportunity to do that today. So I'll end with a quote. One of my favorite, and you may contribute a verse. So, fellow business honors students, alumni, and faculty, I ask you, what would your verse be? Thank you.
All right, sounds cool. And it was awesome because we did this train ride. No, I got to sleep without. It was awesome. Come on. It was the first and last time. There's a great quote that I love. It says, by Mark Twain. It said, the two most important days in your life, the day you're born, and the day you figure out why you were born. You have no control of the first day. We just show up. The second day is what you've been talking about today. It's figuring out the why. And that's the hardest part. Is the why was I placed here? What is my purpose? What is my reason for being? Because we're all created for that. We're all created for a purpose. We're put here for a reason. And a lot of people come to my office and they'll ask me, they stop in and say, hey DJ, really, how do I figure out what my purpose is? How do I figure out my why? And so I always think of different things. And so one of the things I always ask you, and think about this right now, who's your favorite superhero? Obviously it's the Invisible Man. I know why. It's something about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader locker room, and it's not, we were sharing it. I know. I'll share it too, right? But think about the why. If somebody asked me, they said, all right, DJ, what is yours? Mine's the Hulk. Mine's the Hulk. And think about this. It's not because he's big and green and mean. It's none of that. The Hulk has to go through a complete transformation. He's Dr. David Banner first. And what happens to him is he witnesses a tragic event that he can do nothing about. And he puts his passion behind trying to figure out how he can find that strength. Goes bad. But if you see, when he goes through the transformation, he goes, don't make me angry, right? I mean, that's what he says. You don't want to see me when I'm angry. But his body has to go through a metamorphosis. He screams and he's going through pain to become this creature that does good. He's transformed. I don't get the pants thing though. You know, you with me on this thing? You know, that shirt comes ripping off, the shoes go off, the pants, they stay, then it gets small and the pants come off. I don't get that. Well, I don't know, I'm on a tangent. I know sometimes they go off on this, but what is the deal with this is that, you remember when you were a kid? I got a 10-year-old daughter right now, and as she's growing, she keeps going, my hips hurt, my knees hurt. Do you remember that pain? That means you're growing. That's what it's about. When you face pain and struggle, you're growing. Don't turn away from it. Don't take the easy path. Anyone can do it. The defining moment in your life, a defining moment is one where you come against a foe that you've never thought you'd have to come against. It may be you. But a defining moment, it reveals, it tests, and it shapes. What I mean by that is when we all can say, oh yeah, I'm about leadership, I'm about giving back, I'm about service, I'm about family and friends. But you get that phone call at 3 a.m. when you're sleeping and your friend just did something stupid and they need your help, and you're like, I'd rather be in bed right now. Defining moments reveal what is truly important to you. Defining moments test that every day. So when you're sitting there and you're coming against that foe and you say, listen, it's about standing up for what's right. And then somebody says, well, be careful. Be careful. Because your political future is at risk right now. So there's an easy path, right? And there's a hard path. But it's testing you right now. Because when you stand up, it shapes your future. You know I can withstand this and I move forward. Example of this. Because there's people that have power. South Africa, the government ruled with apartheid. They had the power. Nelson Mandela had the authority to speak truth to power and say no more, not here. The defining moment, he sat 27 years in a jail cell. Robin's Island. 27 years. Chances to break. That defining, reveal, test, shape. No, this isn't right. He goes from a prisoner to a president. And remember when Bill Clinton visited, and President Mandela, not Prisoner Mandela, President Mandela walked President Clinton through Robin's Island and showed him the cell, the cubicle that he spent his youth in. And as he walked down, President Clinton looked at him. How could you forgive? How could you forgive for what they did to you, what they stole from you? As wise as Mandela is, again, speaking truth to power, he says, for if I had not forgiven them, I would forever be their prisoner. Forever be their prisoner. A young girl in Pakistan, all she wants is an education. But the power is held by the Taliban in her region. And they say women don't deserve the education. They're not allowed the education. A 15-year-old young girl stands up and speaks truth to power. Because the Taliban may have had the power, but she has the authority. Reveal, test, and shape that defining moment in life. Her defining moment is when a gunman comes onto her school bus. The marketplace is empty because everyone knows what is about to happen. This young girl faces an armed offender, and they asked her later, they said, what were you thinking? She said, I wanted to rip off my shoe and throw it at him, but that would make me no better than he. 15 years old, the wisdom. The gunman thought they'd end the journey. 1 year later, after being shot, I mean, think about what we complain about, right? I'm like, hey, listen, any excuse not to go to class on Friday morning, right? Wait a minute, you're going to shoot me? Not happening. I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't stand up for us. She stood up for them. She stood up for them. And when she stood in front of the United Nations, she stated, one child, one teacher, one pen, one book can change the world. Speaking her truth. Have the courage. Be courageous. You're not cut from the normal cloth. What you've talked about tonight is standing up for what's right and doing it. Don't fear it. We're always afraid. It's okay. Have the courage to change the world. I'll close with Steve Jobs, and I use this quote a lot because I think it's powerful. Steve Jobs said this: "Your time here is limited. Your time is limited. Please, please don't waste it living someone else's life." Congratulations to our seniors. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this journey. And everyone in this room know, and if you know me, I'm always here. Thank you so much.